Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie and welcome to my weekly WIP and Chat. Now if you are new, first, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here and hope you enjoy this video. WIP stands for Work in Progress and Chat just means I'm going to be chatting your ear off for the next probably hour or so is usually where we end up. My WIP for the moment is going to be this diamond painting called Cave Dragon. I'll tell you more about it in just a bit, but I also have all of the seasonal goodies to share with you too. So I'm going to go through what I'm working on and with. You'll find a bunch of links in the description box of this video. If you'd like to go support some small shops in the community, that would be fantastic because they can use every bit of support that we have to spare right now. So feel free to settle in, whether you're working on a diamond painting alongside me or getting just some stuff done around the house, whatever you're up to. I am just looking forward to kicking back with you. So it's Sunday evening as usual. I shouldn't say as usual because last week it was not a Sunday evening I was recording. It was a Monday, I believe. But yeah, we're back to normal this week, at least for now. So yeah, we're back to it, kind of wrapping up the weekend, getting ready to start a new week and more in a routine again with the kids being back in school and whatnot. So yeah, definitely feel that difference from Sunday night into a Monday morning and the start of the week. But this kit, I have the picture, yes, right here. This artwork is, well, this piece is called Cave Dragon. It is by the artist Jan Patrick Krasny and is from Diamond Painting Shop. This is licensed artwork and they still have this kit available. The last time that I checked, they still had some of these in stock ready to ship, but if those run out, they also make kits to order that just have a little bit of a longer turnaround time. So I'm excited to be back to this one. I've been meaning to get to it for a couple of years. I worked on it in the week or two leading up to the start of Drills and Chills on September 1st, and then I actually put it aside and worked exclusively on my Drills and Chills kit for the past week. But since I finished that one, I'm actually really excited to get back to this one. This next section I'm going to work on is the first time I've touched this kit in a week. And yeah, I'm excited because you guys haven't actually seen me work on this kit in a WIP and Chat. The past couple of WIP and Chats have been kit up and chats. And the way that when I finished my first Drills and Chills project earlier today, I thought, well, should I do another kit up and chat video and kit up my next project? And I was like, no, I'm not going to do 3 kit up and chats in a row. Let's not do that. not this time. I really want to work on a diamond painting with you guys. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, accessories. Let's talk accessories. This pen is from Enabler's Outpost. I love the colors and the effect of this one, like the gray and the silver with all the sparkles. I'm a huge fan. Absolutely love that. Enabler's Outpost is a great shop. And then this tray is actually the 2023 Drills and Chills tray that Bijou Bliss made. These are actually all sponsors of Drills and Chills this year, but I just haven't opened up any of this year's. I have a couple of packages. I haven't opened up any of this year's goodies yet. Those will get opened in a sponsor spotlight video for Drills and Chills, probably maybe not this upcoming Saturday, but the following. But I still wanted to show some love to our sponsors, even though these are from previous years. So anyway, Bijou Bliss, I think they also have updated their trays, which I'm really excited to check out. I think they're slightly different, but they make really nice trays, you guys. This is Wee Wax and in the scent Autumn Harvest. And I can't remember if this was the Drills and Chills scent they did last year, if it just happens to be another autumn scent, but I love it. And then this is Tracy's DP World Putty in Harvest Spice and was one of the Drills and Chills scents for last year. So I'm going to use Wee Wax in my single placer, putty in my multi-placer. That's just my personal preference. I ride or die some kind of putty in my multi-placer and then more of a standard wax in my single placer, but whatever works for you. Kind of trial and error it, see what requires the least amount of fuss and headache from you and just roll with that. So my minder, I think this is from Galloway's Gallery. Every year I fall for pumpkins, bonfires, autumn leaves, s'mores, apples, and crippling seasonal anxiety. It just gave me a good chuckle. Okay. So let me go ahead and let me load up my pen first, then we'll open up this section. Let's see. We need just a little, where'd I put the washi tape there? A little bit of washi tape to help the multi-placer fit a little more snugly. I find that most hand-turned pens like this one, they deliberately, I think it's deliberately, will make the one end not necessarily designed to perfectly fit metal multiplacers. I think that it is better for them to err on the side of caution because then it gives you room to work with. If they try to fit it exactly to the metal multiplacers, I think different metal multiplacers on the market might have slightly different thicknesses to them, and so you would run into an issue where maybe it fits some and not others. But this way it's really easy to fix, because if it were too small to fit the multiplacer, there's nothing you can do to address that besides get a different multiplacer. But by giving you a little bit of extra wiggle room, it's really easy to fix if the multiplacer is just a little bit too small. So I just wrapped, like you saw, some washi tape around that base, and then it's very, it's snug in there, so it's not going to go spinning around. It's not going to fall out. Okay, it's probably good enough. And this is the 12 placer from Diamond Art Club. I love their placers for how thin they are. The walls are really thin. They have a really slender profile. The downside to that is the possibility of bending them. And I've been using and rotating through like 4 or 5 of their metal multi-placers, 12 placers for the better part of a few years, like a couple of years basically since they launched them. I hate to destroy the sleeve. It's kind of killing me, but there's nothing to be done for it. Okay. And this has never happened up until about a month or 2 ago. I noticed that one of my placers was really visibly bent. So I did see, hold on, slightly firmer surface there. I did see that I think that they came out with a slightly updated model of their metal multi-placers, and I don't know if they started having the 12 placers come with this. I think I saw someone post in the VIP group, I think it was a 6 placer or something, but it had this extra metal reinforcement that honestly, it doesn't look cute. It looks kind of clunky, but if it's functional, I don't care. I would love for my placer not to bend, but it was like this extra bit of metal that filled in like a triangle of space from up here on the barrel down to partway down the arm. And so I think that is designed to prevent the bending that can happen, but I don't know. I will keep you posted on if and when I get one from them that has that. I would like to confirm that they have updated the 12 placers to have that before I buy one, because they are kind of expensive. I actually went back and looked, and so this is with a big disclaimer, okay? And I acknowledge that 100%. I have not personally, myself, placed an order, purchased a diamond painting kit, I don't think from anyone, including Diamond Art Club, since I think beginning of July, which I know, so caveats here. I know that might not sound like that long of a time, but I used to be someone that was really regularly purchasing frequently. And I'll tell you what, there's something about being on a no-buy that it's hard at first, but also it's you lose that really strong sense of FOMO, and you learn those new habits without, I don't know. At least I felt like I kind of learned those, broke those habits and learned new ones faster than I expected, which I'm not mad about. But the other caveat is that yes, I do get sneak peeks from Diamond Art Club. So that's obviously my situation is still different from some people. So I'm not trying to be tone deaf. Not intentionally. I'm sorry. But yeah, I haven't made any purchases, so I haven't had the chance to I haven't bought one of their multi-placers to try just yet, but I don't know, I'll keep an eye out, and when I see that they've potentially confirmed that they've updated the 12 placers to have the new shape, then maybe I'll get one to try. Anyway, what do I want to start with color-wise? Let's do this dark blue. So where we're at on this image, we're over halfway through. I think that was too much. Let's do this. We're over halfway through it, and just over halfway through it, and just kind of officially now out of the piles of treasure that are at the bottom half of this piece. So getting into really different color palettes over here. Look at this crown with the special drills. So fun. Getting into more of these stalactites and stalagmites and lots of shades of blue and purple. I'm hoping I'm not going to get too bored, but I'm also hoping that maybe there's going to be a little bit more in the way of color blocking and line blocking. That means it'll go a bit faster. So we'll see. I am definitely feeling excited to be back to this one now that I've finished my first event kit, which thoughts on that one. My first event project, I kitted up with you guys last week in my WIP and Chat. It's called Autumn Treasures. It is from Diamond Art Club. It's discontinued. I'm really sorry. You might be able to find it in a Destash group, actually. There's some Destash groups on Facebook, like DAC Fans is one. There's like Slash Your DP Stash. There's several, so you could potentially try to find one there. But it's by the artist Marilyn Casanave and has this cute little tuxedo cat in an autumn wreath. So started off the event with that one. It was fun to go with something that was really more on the fall side of things instead of Halloween. I don't know why. I just enjoy having a mix of both sides of the drills and chills coin during the event. And I thought, well, Halloween is really like, since that's in October, it could be nice to start out with a fall kit. That's what I did last year, and I was I don't know, I liked that. It felt like the right mood and stuff. But the kit, it is done. I survived all those greens, you guys. Somehow, magically, I survived all those shades of green. I really like how it turned out. I think it's so adorable. I feel like this artist's work really does render well with how Diamond Art Club does their kits, and this was no exception. So this kit, I think, was from a few years back, and so some of the square drills were, I don't know, a little more trash prone than I would have expected, honestly. There were 2 colors that I got down to having like 5 drills or less left of when I was finally done with that color. I was kind of biting my nails just a little bit, but ended up having enough. I didn't run out of any colors, but I don't know. I hate that feeling of stress and the like unknown of like, am I going out of this color? Like, please don't let me run out of this color. I don't like that level of stress. And that's not normally a problem with Diamond Art Club, but I think for a period of time, I don't know if this was 2023 ish maybe, I feel like there just were a variety of different kits that it seemed like they were running a little closer to running out of drill colors. Like they maybe weren't giving as much extra. I'm not sure. I really don't know that for certain, but I just sort of remember that being a thing for a little bit. But the diamond paintings that I have in my collection are from such a wide variety of time periods because I've been diamond painting for 5 years, and some of them I picked up in Destashes, and I don't know when the original owner of those bought those. So it's hard for me to necessarily timestamp things unless there's a really specific kind of marker, like it's in the new box or it comes with this specific iteration of the new toolkits, that kind of thing. So I can't say for certain, but I just sort of have that vague memory of, I think this was a thing for a little bit, that sometimes kits would run a little closer to running out of drills than they used to, and then I feel like they do now. Now I feel like more recent releases, it hasn't been a problem. But anyway, I liked that one. It was really fun. It was nice to work on a small kit and to work on some squares because I had done several round drill kits back to back. But because I had some issues with the quality on a couple of those colors, I'm honestly really glad to be back to a round drill kit for a little bit. And I love this kit, you guys. I really love this kit. If you haven't checked out Diamond Painting Shop, please do, because there's something about, I feel like especially their round drill kits, that the drills are great. I really like these drills. I think that not all acrylic round drills are created equal. And both kits that I've completed from this shop have had round drills, and I loved both of them in terms of quality. I'm trying to remember if that first one I worked on, it was the Muka panel of Summer. I'm trying to remember if that one had maybe one problematic drill color. I don't know. That was 4 years ago. My memory is terrible. I'd have to go back and look at my logbook, which is not handy. But my point is, overall, I just have had a really good experience with this shop more than once, and highly recommend checking them out if you haven't. If AI artwork is something that you are concerned about or don't like or try to avoid, or if it's something that you are all about and want to support, either way, I'm just trying to be informative. Diamond Painting Shop does have a fair amount of AI artwork. I don't know if they label it as such. It's just artists whose names I recognized that as doing AI artwork. So it's just an FYI. You make whatever decisions that you want to with your money. I'm never here to tell you how to spend your money. I'm just here to attempt to provide information as best that I can. But yes, check out the shop if you haven't. I'm not affiliated. I've had a good experience with their kits, and the owner is really nice too. So, as far as what I have planned next, kits wise, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna wait and see, because I'm planning to work on this one for maybe a couple of days at least. But my current thought, I'm really itching to work on the kit Two Witches from Orloa. Orloa has been releasing a lot of artwork that I'm really interested in lately, but I have only completed, I think, one kit from them back when they first opened, and I'm pretty confident that they made changes and improvements, hopefully, since then. So I'm eager to try out one of their kits and see, is it something that I enjoy enough to potentially buy from them again before I actually do any more purchasing. Also, this artwork is really cute, so strongly leaning towards that. But I have a couple others in mind, like the Chart to Art kit from Diamond Art Studio UK of ghosts doing things. That could be really cute to go ahead and start on too, but I don't know, we'll see, but lots of potentials. And then just a whole host of Diamond Art Club kits that would totally qualify. A lot of witches, honestly, but that's not surprising. I don't know what it is. Honestly, witches themselves are not something I'm drawn to. When I tend to get kits that have witches in them, often it's just incidental. It's that I really like the artwork and they happen to be witches. I don't know why that particular subject matter is really something that a lot of artists do, but it is. And I tend to just be like, well, I like the colors. Otherwise, I just really like this kit. Very rarely is it like, I'm getting this one because I like that it's witches, you know? So just in case you were curious, I'm wondering if anyone else is that way too, where it's like, it just so happens that that's subject matter that's really popular, but you're not necessarily setting out to get a lot of witch kits. I don't know. Sometimes I'll see people comment about that. Say things like, gosh, Diamond Art Club is releasing a lot of witches. And then I go, well, part of it is that I think it's not just Diamond Art Club, it's other shops too. I think that it's a reflection of what artists are creating, and shops can only put out artwork that artists have created. So like if that's the majority of what there is to choose from, or a lot of what there is to choose from, then like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. Because honestly, I had a similar gripe. I was like, well, it's not that I dislike witch artwork. It's just a lot, right? There's a lot of it. It's very oversaturated or very saturated. So that was when I saw someone comment that it's like, well, that's what artists are creating. So that's what shops have to choose from. It's like, well, that's fair. And I am not an artist, so I'm not going to I can't be a solution to the problem that way. So that's it just is what it is. But yeah, just a food for thought if you had ever had a similar kind of frustration or feeling of like, man, why is it always so much of this thing? It's because that's, well, what artists are creating, and depending on the shop, they're listing it because it sells well or because it got voted on. So I don't know. But anyway, drills and chills. Speaking of drills and chills, I am trying to think of how to put this. I have been, I know I use hyperbole a lot, but like jaw on the floor, shocked, floored, blown away, pick a phrase, okay? I actually mean this. I'm not just being like, oh, butter me up, blah, blah, blah. No, I mean this. I didn't expect drills and chills to pop off like this. Did not. I expect it to get like a good response. I expect a lot of people to be interested. I did not expect to have, I don't know how many views it is on the kickoff video at this point. It's like 7,000, 8,000, crazy. crazy numbers. My week 1 video had like 2,000 views before it had even been up for 6 hours. Like, unhinged, you guys are amazing. Unhinged levels of just like, this is not typically how videos on my channel do. And it's not like, yes, Drills and Chills was amazingly popular the past, however many years I've been hosting, and it's been growing, of course, which I love and I'm so thankful for. But I don't know, I certainly wasn't presumptuous enough to think like it's going to be even bigger this year. I'm always hoping that it's enjoyable for the people that decide to join in, and anyone that decides to show up. I love it. And we plan and hope that we're going to have like a great turnout, but I did not expect this level. And lots of enthusiasm in some of the like social spaces, like the Facebook group has been really hopping. Also, like, can I just say that I was very, very touched by, there was a post recently in the group that, look, I get it. Events can be confusing, and maybe you have a question that you want answered. And I've been actually really on it with my emails. I've stayed pretty caught up with my emails and stuff. But yeah, like sometimes I can't get to stuff as quickly as I think sometimes people would like. And so someone, again, feelings are valid, came into the group and was expressing some frustration that they weren't able to get a hold of us or something like that. And I was very touched at the number of people in the comments that were like, there's tons of us here that can help, like ask your question here. And also saying just very kind and supportive things about Lindsay and myself. Just about like, we are really busy, and I don't want to use that as an excuse. Like, I'm like, we decided we're going to put on this event. We're going to do everything we can to like be available, be like, put on a really good event where people don't feel frustrated and feel like they can get their questions answered. All these things, right? I'm not trying to say my life is so hard and therefore you have to give me all the grace in the world. Like, it drives me crazy when other people do that. And so I'm not trying to do that. But just, I appreciated the very kind words and the support from people that were like, not only, hey, like, these girls are super busy, they're doing their best, but also like people jumping in to be like, we want to help. Like, we can answer your question. There's a bunch of people in this group that probably know the answer to whatever your question is. And so thank you so much if you're one of those people. And those of you that are like, oh, I want to go see what it was. The post is gone. Just so there's nothing to see right now. No one to go after or anything. And I wouldn't want you to go after anyone anyway. But I just wanted to say that kind of atmosphere of like people really wanting to be helpful, and just the kindness and the understanding was very touching. But again, I'm not looking to make excuses and be like, let me get away with, murder for it. It's just I appreciate it. I just appreciated the grace very much. So thank you. So I'm loving overall, just I feel like the energy of people that are joining in on Drills and Chills has been amazing. The excitement has felt very palpable, and I just am sitting here feeling like stupidly grateful. Like, I love that I get to be a part of this, and I'm just glad that this year seems to be off to a good start. So hopefully people feel like, the videos we're putting out, or that we're going to be putting out over the coming weeks, will be enjoyable. I felt a little bit guilty as I was filming my my week 1 video, which was all about what's in my Drills and Chills stash. I realized as I was about 10 kits deep into talking, I looked at the little timer on my phone and realized how long I'd been recording, and did some really quick math. And I was like, oh man, this is going to be a long video. It ended up being like a 40-minute video. And I just was like, well, I'm sorry. I don't normally set out to have our event videos be quite that long, because that can be asking a lot of people. But I also honestly, like, let's be real, I figure some people are pretty keen on how this works. And you guys know that, honestly, one, you can just, I'm giving you trade secrets here if you didn't know. You can skip forward and find where we're talking about giveaways and just skip right to the part where you figure out what you got to comment to enter for the giveaways, okay? I super appreciate if you watch the videos, but like, I get it, okay? Like, you got stuff to do. Maybe it's not interesting to you. that's fine. I'm not gonna quibble with you about that. So there's that. And also, like, often you can read the comments and figure out what you're supposed to be doing. I'm not saying that's what you should do, and I'm so sorry if any of my fellow, like, if my co-host or anyone else involved with the event or any of you are like cringing that I'm saying that. It's just, you know, if people want to find shortcuts, they're gonna find shortcuts. And my goal is gonna be to try to put out event videos that are fun enough that you're gonna want to watch them anyway. But yeah, anyway, giving away lots of prizes. Do I want to crowdsource some thoughts on this or not? So I will, with a whole big caveat that, like, I'm not necessarily gonna promise one way or another what we're gonna do with this, but I would be interested to hear from you. If you would rather, say I have, like, this past week, I had like 10 prizes to give away. And I broke those down into 3 or 4 prize bundles. And so there will be 3 or 4 winners for my week 1 video, as opposed to 10 different winners for the 10 different prizes. Would you guys rather we just have each individual prize goes to a different winner? So would you have rather that there were 10 different winners for my week 1 video? Or would you rather they stay bundled, and so if you win, you get like a batch of, like, you know, 3 or 4 prizes and not just one? Again, I am not promising how we're going to handle this, but I am interested because I did see some feedback in the comments of that video that people were kind of like, oh, you know, I kind of wish that you would have kept these as individual prizes instead of bundling, because then more people can win. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have insight on what, or just have a preference and would like to share it. Feel free to do so. But no pressure. If you don't have an opinion either, that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. I could see both sides. I honestly have not read all the comments on my week 1 video because I couldn't keep up. I checked the spam filter sometimes because it's been really overzealous in holding comments like a lot lately. So I'm trying to make sure I check on that regularly and add comments that it's decided to excitedly remove for no real reason. But other than that, I've not been able to actually keep up with and read all of them just because it's been a lot in a good way. So anyway, that's kind of the drills and drills update. Still debating what I want to do for my topic for this week. I have a couple of ideas, a couple themes I sometimes go back to, because this is my 5th year hosting. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, there's some ideas that I tend to go back to. Man, every single time I put the color away, the second I look back at this canvas, like, oh, look, there's 7 that I missed that exact color. Oh, well, I'll grab it later. I want to do another color first. Where's the equals up there? Okay. Yeah, all these shades of blue and purple now going on. So, what else? I have been neck deep in destashing the past couple weeks, and I have not posted this publicly yet. I'm sorry, part of it's just management on my part, just trying to keep it to smaller groups for the moment. But I'm going to fuss about the heat for a second and the like amazingness of destashing, but also the woes of destashing. So the amazing part is that I've been able to destash quite a lot, which is going to free up not only space, but also, like, just give me a little bit of extra padding, honestly. And I was lucky to have a lot that was bought, and enough that I thought, okay, let's think about logistics for actually packing and shipping these. I know I am not the only person that dreads this part of destashing, and I've also heard more than one person say outright, I can't bring myself to do a destash because all the work that goes into it, I just can't be bothered. I don't blame you guys. It's a ton of work. Why is it a ton of work? Because you have to get the kit. For me, I have to go get the kits from one of the half a dozen different places around my home that they're stored, because small space, and get them to a central location. So it's like if one person got a couple of DAC kits and a couple of different small shop kits, those are all going to be in different places. So I have to track all them down, get them all together in one place, go through the various boxes that I have flattened and stuffed in my garage to hopefully find one that is just the right size, like basically as close to the exact size that I need for those kits and no larger. And then pack first, measure them, weigh them, dump all those stats into pirate ship. And this is all after I've done the actual process of like listing the Destash, and people will say like, okay, I'm interested in this one and this one, this one. I send them an estimate and then make sure I have their payment. And then I'm doing all this logistical stuff. So, so I've got all that information. I'm going to pirate ship after I've packed everything into the box, and then I've measured all of its dimensions and weighed it on a scale, put all that stuff into pirate ship, and then print the label, slap that on the box, tape it up or whatever, and then set it in my trunk to take to UPS with a whole host of other kits. So this was enough that I decided to actually have my husband park his car on the street for the weekend so that I could have half of our garage. We're lucky to have a 2-car garage that is pretty spacious, but we use it to park our cars in because we don't have like super easy street parking. But I had him go park his car on the street for the weekend so that I could set up a giant 9-foot table in our garage to like have a whole staging area. So first thing I did was like pull all of the kits that people had bought. And when I first set this up to do it, it's like 50 or 60 kits. So pulling all those and just setting them all at the one end of this 9-foot table. And then my garage is where all my boxes are. And so it was, okay, then going down my list and being like, okay, let's do this person's order. Pulling the kits and then pulling out different boxes to see, okay, what would hypothetically fit these. And then, okay, this doesn't need any little extra packing bubbles or whatnot. Weigh, measure, whatever, and then set it off to the side. So I highly recommend something like this for sake of efficiency. It was much easier than how I've handled destashes in the past, which has involved just a lot of back and forth, not efficient at all. But here was the kicker, is I decided, because it's very hot, we've been in this heat wave, it's been in the mid 90s, high 90s, I thought, well, I'll go out in the evening to do this, then I'm beating the heat. But you know what loves to come out at night in the summer? Freaking mosquitoes. Mosquitoes, I hate them. I was just oblivious went out to the garage to like really start working, settle in for the evening last night. I was like, I'm going to put in a few hours, see how much of this I can get through. I'm out there for maybe 15 or 20 minutes and had been like absentmindedly like, oh, there's like an itch or something, scratch my leg, whatever. And then it took me 15 or 20 minutes to realize, okay, this isn't going away. And then look down and there's like 2 mosquitoes on my legs. I was like, shoot. Now, mind you, it's so hot out. And even like in our garage where there's not like amazing circulation, even at night, there's just kind of a lot of warm air. It's still really warm in there, even with the doors open and the garage door, the door open and the garage door cracked a little bit to get some airflow. It's still really, really, really hot. Okay. So I thought, what do I hate more? Being hot or getting eaten alive by mosquitoes? I feel like mosquitoes just love me. I don't know if any of you have noticed this too. I feel like if both my husband and I are out, equal opportunity buffet option here for the mosquitoes, they're going to go for me every time over him. And I just think I think there's something like, maybe I have a sweet tooth and it's like translating into like just seeming really yummy to bugs. That's so gross. Sorry. But, so what do? I decide to truck my little booty up into our room and put on long pants tucked into socks. It was such a cute look, you guys. Let me tell you, tucking the bottoms of my skinny jeans into my like long socks. It was so cute. I'm going to go to the Met Gala this year. Anyway, and then I put on a long sleeve jacket and I thought, okay, let's get down to business and defeat the mosquitoes. It was so freaking hot. I thought I was going to die. Look, I lasted about an hour with the jacket on and then finally was like, the jacket's got to go. And I'm going to hope they're not going to go for my arms as much. If I keep moving, maybe they won't land on me. That went okay. Why didn't I use bug spray? I can't find our bug spray. We don't spend enough time outside to like need it. And so I was like, I know it's out here somewhere. I can't find it. And I carved out like tonight, Saturday night, to do as much of this as possible because I know I got to film my WIP and Chat tomorrow night and I really want to get this stuff out. So I got, 3/4 of my Destash packed. And when I was done, I was just a sweaty mess. Like came inside and like hopped in the shower immediately, like under cold water, mind you, because I couldn't stand anything warmer. And then just like laid on our bed in front of that's where our AC unit is. We have a wall unit. And I was like, I'm just gonna lay here until I feel like my core temperature is dropped back down. I'm like, I'm never destashing in the summer again, okay? Of course, I picked one of the hottest months of the year here. Every year it's gonna be something else that I'm really fussing about with regards to the heat, you guys. I'm sorry, but it had to be done. It had to be done. And I went out this afternoon thinking like, okay, it's a little bit cooler today. Let me see if I can get some stuff packed. Maybe the mosquitoes won't be as active if I go out in shorts. Nope. Had a handful of bites after 20 minutes out there again, but packed a few boxes. But yeah, as soon as we finish this WIP and Chat, I'm going to be back out there because honestly, it's still worth how much faster it's going, how much more efficient it is to have this whole like workstation setup out there with like I even took my laptop and my label printer out there because I have an outlet I can plug into, and it's just it's so much faster, it's so much more efficient. So highly recommend doing like a whole staging area if you ever do a destash. And if you ever do a destash, I also highly recommend Pirate Ship. I know it sounds weird, believe me, like I know it sounds weird, but they honestly do have the best prices when it comes to shipping rates. It's also really helpful because you put in like where you're mailing to and obviously like where you're mailing from, so like your address, and so it knows the distance it's going and also all the dimensions, and it basically spits back to you a list of options. Like you can filter by cheapest, you can filter by, there's a filter that says best option. I have no idea what they use to determine like what they think is the best option. 99% of the time, I'm going with the cheapest option, of course. And it's always significantly cheaper, like way cheaper than if I would have walked into UPS and had them measure and print me a label then and there. Like, huge difference. So highly recommend Pirate Ship if you're ever trying to ship things. Even if it's not Destash stuff. It's like free to set up an account and stuff. So not affiliated, just guys, this is the way to go. And with trying to be more intentional, like when it comes to like having a no buy and trying to destash and really, really, really thin it out and pare it down quite a lot. Don't get me wrong, my stash is still like ridiculously large. I'm really grateful for it, but I don't know. It's always interesting whenever I sit down to do a destash to realize how my tastes have changed and how like that's okay. I'm glad that I can destash and really narrow it down to what I really love. I've talked about this a lot before, but so much of I feel like when you start this craft, it's about just picking up whatever catches your eye and you're like, ooh, I like the look of this one. But then if the craft really sticks with you, you find yourself just sort of honing in on what you actually really love, like what subject matter, and are you like, okay, actually I can't stand a certain level of confetti, or oh, I really prefer how the shop renders, that kind of thing. And then you find yourself being like, I have all these kits I don't see myself doing because now I see what I really like. And there have been various iterations of that for me over the years, going like, okay, my tastes have changed again. The hardest part for me, I have found, is there are some kits that I can't bring myself to part with because they would be virtually irreplaceable. Like some of the old, like the OG Mandy Manzano Princess panels, I just don't know. I don't know if those are the best examples, actually, because like those I still love because they're very Disney inspired and all that. But like, trying to give a better example. There are some kits that it's like that got discontinued or that shop has closed and the artist never went on to sign anywhere else. I would never be able to replace that kit. And so there's not a small number of kits in my stash that I feel like in part I'm holding on to because I just know that I could never replace them. And what if my tastes change again down the road and I wish that I still had that kit and I'm really bummed that I don't? I mean, hello, it's a diamond painting. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but and I've gotten better about being able to let kits go that used to fall into that category and just been like, I just gotta let it go. I really gotta let it go. It's just not gonna be the end of the world, but there's still some that I can't do it. I can't do it. Anyway, Destash woes. I'm chuckling as I'm glancing over at my little list of jot notes and being like, I'm still like in the top fourth of the page of little like just jot notes I made, and we're 2/3 of the way into this WIP and Chat. It's really not a big deal. They're just more like guidelines. Anyway, let's see how many other references I can just go ahead and sneak in here. Feel free to, if you recognize them, if you do that, I understood that reference, you can let me know in the comments. It will make me smile. There's been at least 2 very specific ones that I can think of, but anyway. That's what happens when you're a nerd in parts of fandom and all that. So what else? Let's talk about some like last kind of diamond painting stuff, and then I'll give you some like family and other kinds of updates. Sneak peeks. I have such a dilemma right now. So my sneak peek for last week was the Mrs. Butter D Gamer Room. And I saw that upon that kit selling out yesterday, that it was immediately discontinued. And I know there's lots of speculation from people on why that might be, and lots of frustration, understandably, from people about thinking like they assumed because this artist is so popular and it sold out same day that it was, you'd almost assume that it's safe. You'd almost think it's safe to assume that it would get a restock, right? And so surprising, frustrating, disappointing to see discontinued, archived. That's my sneak peek, and it was delayed. It didn't get to the warehouse until later in the week, and it actually got delivered today. I didn't know that On Track delivered on Sundays, but there you go. So I'm going to obviously do that video, but I want to be like sensitive, like be nice about it. I don't know. It feels like it's difficult to do like I'm sure I could ask Diamond Art Club if they like have a specific way they want me to do it, but I don't really want to do that. And they wouldn't want me to either. Probably they'd be like, just however you want to do it is fine. That's their MO. They don't tell us what to do. They're like, here's your kit. Thanks for showing it. Thank you. Bye. Not bye, but you know what I mean. They're pretty hands off about that kind of thing. But I don't know. It's like, it feels weird to do that belated sneak peek knowing that like that kit's been discontinued. So if you want to get it, you're gonna have to find it in a Destash group. So I don't know. I'll figure out how I want to go about it, but that's just kind of looming over my brain a little bit. I'm like, oh man, it just feels I feel guilty. Okay. It's the empathetic person in me here. So there's that. I have another belated sneak peek for one of the Tom and Jerry kits that is releasing today. I couldn't get that filmed to go up sometime today. I wasn't expecting it to be delivered today to begin with, but Adam had taken Connor to a movie. So I was home with Micah when it got delivered, and Micah was just doing a lot of sensory seeking and stuff. And obviously I was hanging out and stuff with him. I was like, I can't film this and get this up today. It's just going to go up late. And again, Diamond Art Club's not going to, they're not going to mind. They're going to get it. But yeah, I'm going to squeeze that in. It's going to be kind of a sneak peek heavy week. The good news is my sneak peek for this week did ship. So hypothetically, that one's going to be on time. Sorry, I smacked the recording arm there. Yeah, so there's that. Let's talk about just other like family updates and how we've been here. So second week of school for the kids went pretty well. Connor was telling me tonight when we were talking about it, he's like, Mom, I'm just kind of bummed that tomorrow is like a 5-day week because that first week of school, you guys, was a 3-day week. Last week was a 4-day week. This week is their first like full week. It's great that they ease the kids into it, but Connor is like now being really, really bummed about it, which I understand, but, and they're going to their first full week this week. And I just feel like the first couple weeks of school have flown by. I don't know what it is, you guys. Time, I don't know if it's one of those things that just the older you get, the faster time goes, but time is flying. I need it to slow down, please. I would like to just kind of soak up these days a little bit more. But I had the chance to go to back to school night last week and got to sit in on each of the kids' classes. Their teachers do like a presentation. You get the chance to meet the teachers if you haven't yet. So Connor's teacher I was especially excited to meet because Micah's teacher I know well and have seen her a lot. Part of that just comes with him being in a dedicated special ed class. But Connor's, I knew that this teacher was new to the school this year, and I don't know, Connor had such a magical experience with this teacher last year that I was just really hoping and praying that this year he was going to have another teacher that sort of just got him in a similar way and that felt like it was a good fit. Like, not just to make it easy or whatever for him, like not for that as the goal, but to understand him and know like ways to challenge him that kind of work for him, and how to push him and like when to push him through on things and when to give him some space. So I liked getting to meet his teacher, and Connor's been saying he feels like she's really nice. He likes her, which is great. And my first impressions of her meeting her, I was like, oh, you've got a lot of energy. Like you're a little intense. You got a lot of energy. But also I had the chance to talk to her briefly one-on-one. And she just mentioned to me something about how she's like, I'm not sure what was going on, like, you know, today, but it seemed like Connor was kind of having a rough day and he didn't do as well on like this test as I feel like he otherwise would have. And so I'm going to give him another chance to do this test. And immediately that made me go, okay, she knows, like, obviously she knows he has like an IEP and needs like some additional supports and stuff, but just, I felt like that immediately clocked it to me that I'm like, okay, I think this is going to be a good fit. I think that she kind of gets it. So, of course I talked to Connor about it when I got home and he was like, yeah, some kids were mean to me on the playground. It's like, well, what was it? And it was a little bit like people being like sore winners. Like they cheered when I got out at this game. And we talked about like, well, sometimes that's just how kids behave when they're playing games. People get competitive. And while also trying not to like invalidate his feelings. That's always the balance I feel like we're trying to strike, is like we want to build some resilience, but not like stuff your feelings down, not like in that kind of way. It's like, I don't know, want to do both. And I did get a really, really sweet email from Connor's speech teacher at the end of the week, and that just made me go, it was one of those moments where I went, okay, I think maybe we're doing like okay at like raising like a kind human. But she just said something about how they do speech in like kind of a group setting where it's, I mean, some depends on the kids. Sometimes I'm sure it's one-on-one, but like in this case, it's like Connor along with some like, I don't know, a few other kids. They do it kind of a group setting and stuff. And there was a kiddo in there that there was something in particular that he was I think he's maybe an English language learner, particular like sound or whatever that this other boy was feeling self-conscious about making. He thought he was going to look silly. And Connor immediately, I guess, you know, even though the speech teacher, the kid was like not necessarily really believing or wanting to listen to that, like, no, it's not silly, like it's okay. Connor apparently immediately jumped in and like reassured this kiddo and made him feel like, no, look, like it's not silly, like it's okay. And I just was like, I'm like literally tearing up right now because I'm just, look, I don't know. I'm so emotional, easily emotional. But I thought, okay, maybe we're doing some things right, like raising a kind human being. And that just made me really happy. I was like, oh, see, he's such a sweet kiddo and is like, he's so supportive and sweet to the people around him and tries to build them up. And I love that. I love that about him so much. He's a sensitive guy in like a good way. So that just made my heart very full. So yes. And then Micah's, like I said, we got to see his teacher, but I'm pretty well familiar with her, and I got the chance to talk to her a little bit, and she was mentioning some ways that they're planning to try to work on challenging Micah academically, since that's an area that he wants to be challenged in more. So I feel like it's a pretty promising start to our school year. I'm pretty happy. And yeah, kind of optimistic that it's going to be a good one for the kiddos again. Pup date. I'll give you a pup date. Thank you guys for all of your thoughts and insight about Heartworm. from last week. If you missed it, I mentioned that I had taken Scout in for a heartworm test because the way that at least our area, our state does it is once pups are 6 months old, they have to get a heartworm test before the vet will prescribe or approve any prescriptions for heartworm meds. And when I called to schedule this heartworm test, the vet was like, oh, like, do you guys go hiking a lot? Basically seeming kind of surprised that we were wanting to do heartworm treatment for him. And most of you said, like, you know, do it because I completely understand, like, heartworm is a brutal thing if a dog gets it, and the treatment is really rough. And I totally get that. Finances are part of the concern for us. As a couple of you had asked, like, finances are part of the concern for us, but also, like, we're going to be responsible pet owners and take care of our pets. So I just appreciated that so many of you took the time to share your thoughts and opinions. So thank you for that. Scout has been a lot of fun this week. I'm not going to say the words because I'm pretty convinced he knows what this phrase means now. But yesterday I took him to get, they do free PUP CUPs at some coffee places like Dunkin' and Starbucks, where it's like they just do some whipped cream in a cup and it's free or whatever. And I said something to Scout, like Adam and I were talking about it. I was like, yeah, I could take Scout with me to go get this thing. And Scout heard me say it and started happy whining and ran to like the door to get in the car. Normally he doesn't really like getting in the car. And so I looked at him, I was like, I think he knows what that word means now. And he's only had one like 3 times. So it was surprising to me that like he seemed to know what that word meant. So that was fun. And I have a really cute picture of him having his you know what. I don't know, he chewed another small hole in our bedroom carpet a few days ago. This is the second one he's done. I kind of am inclined to think that it's an accident because he's really into like the Nylabone, Benebone type toys. Like he really goes to town on those. So I think he's just kind of a chewy dog. And I'm wondering if he was trying, like he was just laying there chewing on one of those and was just getting the carpet by accident. I don't know, but I'm like, great. Okay, I don't know how to do a carpet repair. I'm just glad this is like they're a little bit bigger than the size of a quarter spots in 2 different spots in our bedroom now. And I'm like, well, at some point we are going to have to replace this carpet anyway. And like, it's not so problematic that it's like we have to get it fixed right now. But like whenever it's someday like in the budget, then yeah, maybe we'll look at getting it replaced. But certainly not until I'm convinced that like this would not be a recurring problem. So I don't know. I sprayed those spots with the like bitter apple spray, and he does avoid things that have that spray on it, but I just like I'm not going to treat the entire carpet with it. So I don't know. I'm not totally sure. I'm trying to pinpoint like what's causing it. But yeah, that's the pup date on Mr. Scout. I don't really have a cat update. I just realized I'm like, poor Skip is like the one neglected member of these like updates and family updates and stuff. I mean, Skit's a cat. He's very, very sweet in his lovable self. He made a cameo appearance in my week 1 Drills and Chills video, and that was really funny, actually. I did not like bribe him over with catnip or anything. I think he just heard his ears were burning, and then he saw me recording and was like, "What you doing?" And there he was. So that was funny to have him pop up. And Adam's doing good too. You know, just keeping on with job hunt and all that. But we're just taking one day at a time and doing what we can. So, yep. And my Destash. I'm just glad we're doing the Destash. What else? We're 53 minutes. Okay, let me try to blitz through anything else I want to talk about. I guess there's not really a lot. It's very self-centered here. I'm like, oh, physical therapy updates. I went to physical therapy this week. I feel like I'm noticing some improvements, but then the other night I feel like I kind of overdid it. I diamond painted for a few hours, and even with stretches in between, I just feel like I probably did too much. So, I feel like overall I'm trending upward and trending better, but I think I was just hoping to see even more improvement by now than I have. So I don't know if I'm just being impatient, but for physical therapy this week, she did some massage for the first time and some like pressure therapy, and then kind of the usual exercises and stuff. So we'll see. I've been trying to be better about icing it too, and I think that that's helped. So I don't know. I did not expect this was going to be something that stuck around for quite this long. And I have a few more sessions of physical therapy before we'll have to like evaluate. I think the physical therapist will try to decide, like, is she going to recommend additional sessions to see if insurance will approve, or I don't know at what point if they go, okay, let's do like an MRI or something like that. I don't know. But I think we're coming up on, I don't know, having that discussion. I'm not sure. I'm not totally sure. But for the moment, I'm trying to be good about doing my exercises and have my foam roller, which I felt so bad falling behind on my comments that one of you guys, this was a few weeks back, you had done a super chat and said, like, go get the foam roller and take care of yourself. So I had ordered that last week and just wanted to say a huge thank you. That was so incredibly kind and generous. And I'm so sorry that I didn't catch that comment earlier. So thank you. That was, wow. Seriously, really generous and unexpected. So I did, though. I got my foam roller and I'm using that to do those exercises, and I think it helps a little bit more than doing like the rolled towels around a pool noodle do, for sure. I don't know what it is, but I notice a difference. So thank you. What else? Trying to get back into a rhythm with the kids being in school and my sleep schedule. You guys, we were doing so well with going to bed earlier and getting up at better times and stuff, but now with the kids being back in school and even with us alternating who gets up with the kids, it's just tricky because we get up at 7 to get the kids ready and off to school, and neither of us is ever ready to actually be up for the day at 7 o'clock. We're both such night owls. But again, summer, we were doing really well moving our schedule back, but still not quite enough to be able to get up at 7 and be up for the day. So it's like whichever one of us is getting up with the kids then comes home and just would like to go back to bed for a couple hours. But after you've been up and like left the house and walked and stuff, it's hard to settle my brain back down to go back to sleep. And so then it just feels like I waste a lot of the morning. So I end up taking a nap later in the day and then staying up too late in the evening. It's a vicious cycle that we fought all last year. So I'm trying to tackle it again this year. See if there's some new things we can try to just get to sleep earlier, get up and out of bed, like just power through earlier. Yeah. And making that work. But I have such a flexible kind of schedule with how I can do, for lack of a better word, work, basically things related to YouTube, like my filming, I can just do after the kids go to bed. The admin that I did do for Drills and Chills can happen like after the kids go to bed. That's why sometimes you will see an email response from me at 2 a.m. my time, California time, which if you're on like in the Midwest or on the East Coast, it's like that's like 5 a.m. your time. I'm not up for the day at 5 a.m. I am in the West Coast. I haven't gone to bed yet. So like I do have some flexibility with that, but I still would like to shift things a little bit differently. Tips are welcome. I've done the melatonin thing, but I'm a little hesitant to get, I don't know, I guess go too far down that rabbit hole because I don't want to get like, I know that melatonin could be a tricky thing because then it can potentially like affect your body's production of it. I don't know, you guys, but yeah, that's on the brain. What I have been reading and watching and listening to, friends, besties, I have not been reading, still haven't been reading, but I have still been gaming. I have not finished Mass Effect 3 yet. This is a replay of the game, my first time through the Legendary Edition. But I did have this very, very, very heart-wrenching character death that I was dreading. And then I had forgotten the timing of this. Did not realize, sat down to do like my next play session. And because I had like gotten so ahead on like all the side quests, I was basically going from one main mission that had a character death into the next, and I didn't realize that like, oh, this is the mission where a different character dies. And I was just like, Adam, you won't believe what I did. And I was like, I can't believe this is, I was not emotionally prepared for this. But anyway, at least that's all done. And hopefully it'll be a little less tragic and emotionally gut-wrenching now in those particular ways. But I'm really enjoying this game. I am playing, I don't know, every couple of days I'm getting a few hours in and just enjoying taking my time with this one a lot because once it's over, I don't know what I'll do next. And video games have been a nice kind of way to mix it up and make sure that I'm not diamond painting for too long. It's like trying to rest my shoulders. So here's something else I can do that's still like leisure activity kind of thing. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'll shift to after I finish this game, but I think I still have some time before I'll get to the end of it. I haven't played like almost any of the DLC, so I got time. I don't have to decide yet. Watching nothing super exciting here. I've been really enjoying the YouTube channel, The Swiftologist, and I think just with everything that's been going on with Taylor Swift more recently, I've really enjoyed the way that they deep dive into things and how they're very much not like blind worshipers of Taylor Swift. Like they're very quick to call out things. They're like, this was problematic. This really didn't work. Those kinds of things. And I'm like, okay, good. We have people that are just going to tell it like it is. So I've been enjoying just going down the rabbit hole of that channel because they have a ton of content. So if you're a Taylor Swift fan, they drive me a tiny bit nuts because there's some like phrases and things that they really overuse in my opinion. But overall, I still enjoy it. It's like once I'm just sort of used to it, I don't hear it as much anymore, and I can just kind of enjoy it for what it is. Listening to, did you guys see that the K-pop Demon Hunters deluxe album dropped yesterday? And they added some tracks that people have been like asking for, like Jinu's Lament, and then the song that's at the very beginning where they're like giving you the lore, and it's like the original like Demon Hunters like singing group, and like what they're singing, they finally put those tracks on. And if you're like a sing-along person, which I'm scared to tell my kids that this exists because we haven't downloaded this yet, but they have apparently like sing-along versions now and stuff. So yeah, if you're a fellow K-pop Demon Hunters fan, there you go. I was so delighted when I saw there have been a few of you over the months since this movie came out that have, I think I've managed to convert a little bit, and you've left comments like, you know, I wasn't expecting to like this, but I gave it a try, and oh my gosh, this was so enjoyable. Even from people like of all different ages, people that don't have kids, or you know, people that are grandmas. It's like, you guys, this crosses all divides. It's delightful. The worst thing about this movie is getting past, like, the title is clunky, okay? It's very much, it is what it says on the tin, but I feel like a lot of people, they hear that title and they're like, what even is the name of this movie? Like, I promise you guys, it's, pretend like it has a different title and watch it, and like, you'll have a great time. You'll have a great time. Not affiliated. It's like the third time I've said that in this video. Not affiliated. Just a big fan. Okay. What I have coming up this week. Yeah, I'm really over that hour mark. You guys don't mind, right? What I have coming up this week. It's going to be a Diamond Art Club sneak peek heavy week. I really don't love when it works out this way because I like to give you guys some variety. But you've got this WIP and Chat. You'll have a Drills and Chills week 2 video from me, which TBD what that topic is going to be. Maybe a set of tag questions, maybe an unboxing. I don't think I'm quite ready to do a big sponsor spotlight. I want to get a few more things in, but it'll be something event related and not like DAC centric. So if you want like more variety, that's where I would look for those things. And yeah, that's kind of it. But you guys, let's see if you made it all the way to the end. I think let's go with, there's a crown emoji, no? I know there's at least like a queen and king emoji, some kind of royalty emoji, because we have this like very sparkly crown hanging out in the bottom corner of this video. I just realized I never went in and set the focus to not go in and out every time that I placed a diamond, so apologies about that, you guys. Yeah, I'm doing my best. There's things that I'm just dropping the ball on this week, okay? Accessories were all great. yeah, this was a good one. Glad I got to spend some time with you guys tonight. Let me know how you're doing. I hope you're doing very, very well. Also, quick note to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'd love to have you here as part of my community. You'll see weekly WIP and chats like this one, unboxings and reviews, and for the next 2 months, drills and chills videos on Saturdays, occasionally Sundays if life happens. But yeah, I'd love to have you here. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Hope you're doing very well, and that you have a day and a week that's as wonderful and spooky as you are. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.